So as we were thinking about different speakers to bring, they also suggested to us, who are among your most interesting friends? And I have a lot of interesting, amazing friends, some of you in this room. And I thought maybe of some of you. All right, maybe I didn't. But I have one friend who has won like the American Idol version of the Middle East. I mean, that's like incredible. Our next guest, Nizar Fares, is like a pop celebrity when he goes to the Middle East. He signs autographs, he has to wear sunglasses. I'm not kidding. It's a really, really incredible thing. And so he is seriously one of the most interesting people in my life. And so I've asked him, would you please be interviewed by me as we talk about your work with refugees? So would you please come up, Nizar? So how does a pop musician start a refugee ministry here from Boston?
Well, I always dreamed to be a pop star, and I began to think that things are coming true because I won the gold medal in one of the most known talent shows back in '96, and afterwards I was invited by Muammar Gaddafi in person to sing for him. And I was promised a very brilliant career as a star, but 10 days after I was held as a hostage in my hotel room. So I prayed and read the Bible all for 30 days, 1 month, and miraculously I was released, and it's a different story for a different day. But believe it or not, Muammar Gaddafi was one of the reasons that I came to Jesus. So I became a Christian artist, recording artist, and I started to pray, and I wanted my talents to have more meaningful impact. And also I became more intentional about doing good with all my friends who helped me in the ministry, in music, and everything I was doing, because I wasn't alone by myself doing the whole thing. I had some poets helping me, some composers, arrangers, studio owners. So we were like a team trying to bring the music to people and encourage and help them. But afterwards, I got married to Maya, my wonderful wife, and she supported me in every way. Then we moved 5 years ago to the US. And I started, for the last 18 years, I went all over the place to sing, to worship, among all Middle Eastern, everywhere. But as soon as we arrived here, ISIS invaded Mosul. And I know the people of Mosul. I sang there, I prayed with them, I worshiped with them. I felt the urge to go back and do something. So I went back to Erbil and Duhok, northern of Iraq, and I was accepted, and the political authorities and the spiritual authorities considered our ministry as like musically encouraging ministry. So I was very welcomed, especially for kids, because during time I composed tens of songs for kids to sing and worship, like social songs and spiritual songs. And afterwards, the war in Syria started. So it was more devastating because all the places where ISIS were killing, I know those people. I went there, I sang there, I worshiped there. So this is why a year ago I was led by prayers and by facts to start my own nonprofit from here, from Boston, and go back and help as much as we can.
That's just incredible. So, well done in summarizing all of that. How did you focus specifically on Syrian refugees? Like, how were you first invited to that? And can you also tell us, like, what are some of the first impressions that you felt when you went over there? Like, what have you seen?
So, yeah, what I've seen. It's hard to describe it in words. Last time we were in Homs in Syria, last Christmas, we were driving for over 10 miles with total destruction, like thousands of buildings demolished, like pollution everywhere, and you can see the septic sewage on the streets and kids playing around. I saw kids and teenage prostitution. I heard first-hand stories about human trafficking and human organ black markets. So it was devastating. But at the same time, I saw a lot of hope because people are coming together when they put their efforts together to rebuild, to even enjoy the marriage of someone or cherish a childbirth. Even they know tomorrow maybe their own lives will be taken. So there's hope. There's hope there. So I had a lot of testimonies, a lot of stories, like heartbreaking stories. Okay, let me tell you this one. So, yeah, Dr. Jamil, I met him in Syria last December, and he was a very successful dentist. He owned 2 clinics in Aleppo. And one morning he was going to work, and minutes after he was laying on the ground, his body was torn from a shell, and he was about to die. And he said one thing: God forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. And the other thing, he said, Jesus, please help me for the sake of my 3 young kids. And he woke up 3 weeks after with 17 surgeries, and he lost his hand, means he lost his career. So he became part-time taxi driver and a full-time volunteer helping the displaced families in his area. So his neighbors consider him as a living miracle, and God is there, and God is watching over them. For me, it gives me hope because we have everything like for granted around us, like security, like freedom of speech, of religion, So it gives me hope, So that was one of the testimonies that I testified, like, yeah, Dr. Jamil.
That's great. I'm very touched by that story. And I wish I could ask you more about that. But it would help us also understand and appreciate, like, what have you learned as you keep going back and forth, and as you live life here in the U.S. and as you go back to serve there. Tell some of your reflections of what you've learned.
I learned bad things and good things. So let me start with the bad things. I learned that if we cut that support, love support from the divine, we all become ISIS. This is one. 2, I learned it the hard way, but sometimes when I'm there and I tell people, hang in there, it's going to get better, I'm not sure I'm telling the truth. So that's the bad stuff. But the good stuff, there is hope. I'm seeing in the midst of bad circumstances, people's lives are changing big time. Like hundreds of people coming to Christ and changing their lives. I went to Mosul before ISIS in 2009. Then I met the same displaced families in northern Iraq. They were different. Then I met them as refugees in Turkey, in Greece, in Stockholm, in Sydney last year, in the US or Canada. They are totally different. They had like a spiritual revival in their lives. So there is hope. There is hope. And one of the things also that I learned since I'm a musician, so music it's always was like a double tool with the music and the lyrics, and especially if the lyrics has the message of truth, it has the ability and the power to change, to impact their lives positively. So I'm beyond blessed sometimes to see how the worship songs worked on their lives and changed them, and it was encouraging at some point. And I receive on Facebook page, sometimes I'm anointed with this song. For example, someone tells me that I've been repeating the song over and over and over. Why? And it opens the conversation that Jesus wants something from you. So I'm blessed to see all those people like changing, tangibly.
That's incredible. I know many people in this room are wondering, what can we do to support and serve the refugee crisis?
So we have 4 things. So the first thing is you can go online to nfgm.org, and you can check out our projects, and you can invest in one of our projects. How you invest? You can invest by prayers. You can invest by being an active volunteer. There's the volunteering form, because we have also an upcoming event in Worcester area on November 17th, around Thanksgiving, it is about thanksgiving for the refugees community in Worcester area. So this is third. Also, you can join us to go overseas. We organize 4 mission trips. And also now we opened a new door for music major students to do an internship on Middle Eastern worship music and also to join us on mission trips. So if you cannot go, you can serve locally with us. If you cannot go and you cannot serve with us, just pray. And one fourth thing, if you see a refugee here, just pray how you can help, and God will open a door for you to help in any way.
Well done. Well done. I know some of you thought I was exaggerating when I said he's like one of my most interesting friends, but this is pretty incredible. Thank you so much, Nizar.
God bless you.
We can't have a Middle Eastern pop icon here tonight without asking him to sing for us. So we're going to take a moment to get set up here. We have a piano accompaniment and everything, and here I'll just yak while you guys set up. I ask Nizar all the time, what is it like, and what do you do when you're there? And among the things that he says to me, and these are exact quotes: I sing songs at refugee camps about the importance of brushing your teeth, and I also sing songs about Christ as Lord. And I just can't relate. I'm processing that of how that happens. I'm also curious to know when right before they announced who the winner was of the talent show, did they have like a Ryan Seacrest type of person, cut to the commercial right before they announced your name? Don't even tell us. Tell us at the after party. Okay, that should be like a story for the after party. Okay. Hey, would you introduce the song that you're about to sing for us?
Yeah, this song I wrote it especially for tonight. Will be my first ever English Arabic song. So also it's encouraging to start on doing that more often. So it talks about the refugee. And the instrument I have is a oud. Oud is the Middle Eastern lute, and it's the ancestor of the guitar. So it has the same shape with a bigger belly. So this is an electroacoustic oud. Let's say the authentic ones are with a bigger belly. Okay? So, but it has the same shape since the 4th century. It didn't change. Even the tuning, nothing. It's the same thing. So another interesting thing about tonight, I'm joined by Shaheen Touma on the piano, and he's also a Syrian refugee. I'm Lebanese. He's a Syrian refugee, and he's doing his research at Harvard in diabetes. So thank you to Shaheen for being with me tonight. So I met Shaheen back in Syria in one of the beautiful hills of the mountains in Syria, in Bludan. It was a conference, a revival conference for a church. He was a teenager, and I met him again last year, and I was surprised to see him here. So I thought he would be a very beautiful addition tonight to this song and to this worship song. So, Hymn of a Refugee. But you're gonna sing with me, you know that? Yeah, so the chorus goes like that. What was once a refuge is now home. You paid eternally my freedom, my ransom. To worship you everywhere, anywhere. You're awesome. You're awesome. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا سأهلل هلل هلل
الذي كان في الماضي الملجأ صار البيت. ثمن حريتي دفعتها، نفسي فديت. مسبحا معلنا في كل مكان، فيك تغنيت. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. Sing with me. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. One more time. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. We share same sky, same atmosphere, with your omnipresence, with more praise, more fruit of lips, more reverence. Same sky, same atmosphere, same omnipresence, with more praise, more fruit of lips, more reverence. My refuge, my shelter, my safe heaven. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. Sing with me. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. Louder. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا. سأهلل هلل هلل هللويا.